Since its inception in 1957, instant noodles have taken the world by storm. It's convenient, cheap, and a source of comfort food for billions worldwide. Today, the humble instant noodle is getting a major makeover. We now have healthier instant noodles.
I don't know about you, but instant noodles are my comfort food, and I don't quite like messing around with it. But I'm also really curious about these healthier instant noodles. This one, for instance, says that it's whole grain. This one says it's purple wheat noodle, contains antioxidant, and both of them say that they are steam cooked, non-fried, and this one even says that it's baked. Wow.
According to Singapore's largest supermarket chain FairPrice, sales of healthier instant noodles went up by about 35% during the first 6 months of this year, compared to the same period last year.
So in this episode, I want to find out what exactly makes these instant noodles healthier. Are they indeed better for us, or are the healthy labels just a marketing gimmick?
The most obvious difference is that these noodles are marketed as non-fried. That's quite a claim, because for over 5 decades, instant noodles are produced by deep frying in oil. And it's not just about the taste. Flash frying the noodles at an extremely high heat removes moisture from the noodles, increasing its shelf life. The tiny holes also allow the noodles to cook faster when placed in hot water.
But flash frying isn't the healthiest option. You see, the noodles are typically fried in palm oil, which I know is high in saturated fat. And the oil is frequently used multiple times. So I can see why non-fried noodles would be healthier. But I wonder how much of a game changer it really is, and how does it compare to this?
To find out, I'm heading to one of the largest manufacturers of healthier instant noodles in Singapore. Since 2015, Prima Taste started introducing air-dried whole grain instant noodles. First up, raw noodles go through a steamer to cook them through completely.
How hot is it in there?
100 degrees.
Wow, okay. And then it becomes that. That's the cooked noodle.
These are the drying trays.
Oh, this is where the air drying takes place.
It begins once it goes in this.
So it's going in there for air drying. How long is the air drying process?
It takes around 10 to 15 minutes from start to end. And it comes out here. So you can try to break it. You can break it up.
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely dry, shelf-stable.
So how much healthier is the air drying process?
No added oil is added in the cooking process or in the drying process. As a result of that, our noodles, they do have very low fat content, less than 2%. From what I know, regular instant noodles which has gone through the flash fried process, they actually contain 15 to 20% of fat.
Okay, wow. So if that's the case, why aren't more manufacturers doing it this way, air drying?
Well, the air drying process takes around 10 to 15 minutes as compared to a flash frying process. It takes around 2 to 3 minutes. In the same factory of the same size, you are able to produce 3 times more flash fried noodles as compared to air dried noodles in the same period of time.
So not only have you guys used the air drying process, you've also decided to use whole grain for a lot of your noodles. How much more of a difference does whole grain make?
Whole grains have been known to have many positive health benefits. It reduces stroke, reduces the risk of high cholesterol, reduces the risk of heart disease.
Regular instant noodles, which are made up of refined wheat, are known to be stripped of nutrients like fiber and minerals. That's why some manufacturers are exploring raw materials other than wheat for instant noodles. But as I'm about to find out, these varieties aren't exactly free of refined wheat.
This To be honest, I don't think that they've really altered the basic noodle that much.
I've learned that healthier versions of instant noodles are generally non-fried and way lower in fat. To make the noodles more nutritious, manufacturers are also replacing refined wheat with other raw materials. But how much more of a difference do these ingredients really make?
So I've seen purple wheat and whole grain noodles, but I'm sure there are many other varieties out there. I like my noodles, but I'm no expert. Though I do know someone who is. Hey Sarah, hi, it's Stephen here. Hey, I need your help for something.
I just wanted to talk to you about some instant noodles.
Sarah Benjamin Huang makes a living cooking, writing and creating online content about food. I've asked for her help to scour through online grocers and noodle stores for variations of not just non-fried, but instant noodles made of other ingredients. 1 week later, Sarah is showing me her haul.
Hey Steve, hi, come on in.
So, what'd you get?
Come, I'll show you. Come in, Stephen, come into my kitchen.
Thank you.
I managed to find at least these four.
Wow.
The first one I have here is Bambara groundnut noodles.
Uh-huh.
And they're made with these, which are Bambara groundnuts.
Oh, okay.
So, like many other legumes, I know it's called a nut, but it's actually a legume. It's high in protein, high in fiber. So that's what you'll find in these noodles. They have around 2 times as much protein as any other instant noodle on the market.
Uh-huh.
And they also contain a lot of fiber, which is very important in the diet. It helps you maintain a healthy gut flora, and it also helps you feel full for longer.
The one in green.
These are made with these moringa leaves. One thing that's really great about these noodles is that they contain 2 to 3 times as much fiber as a normal noodle. But for me, these 2 noodles, it's really important to note that like all noodles, the main ingredient is still wheat flour.
Okay, so it's not 100% made of these nuts or these leaves.
No, and in fact, you'll find that if you look at the ingredients list, those ingredients come in maybe 4th on the list.
Oh.
Because, you know, as a chef, I try to tell this to people, the thing that makes noodles and pasta really chewy, really nice is wheat flour. You need the gluten from the wheat flour to hold the noodles together. So you do have to have that as the main component if you want that familiar, slurpy texture.
Let's look at this one.
Number 3, these are also still wheat noodles. They're Taiwanese style.
Yeah.
But these are made with aloe vera.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
However, in this, to be honest, I don't think that they've really altered the basic noodle that much. What they've done is they've replaced the water with aloe vera to make the noodle.
Oh, so just the water, which means the wheat is still regular.
100%. The one thing I will say is that these are a lot higher in potassium than normal noodles, and that could be because of the aloe vera.
But why is potassium important for us?
So potassium works in tandem with sodium, and potassium actually helps to regulate the effects of sodium. And you may know that sodium increases the blood pressure, so potassium can help to reduce your blood pressure by working in tandem with the sodium.
And what about that one?
Yeah, so number 4, these are based on shirataki noodles,
Yeah.
which are a Japanese noodle made from that Konjac yam, and they are extremely low in carbs and in calories.
When you say extremely low, like how low? Like
So for a normal 100 grams of noodles, you're looking at around 60 grams of carbs and 400 calories. But with these, you're only getting 1 gram of carbs and around 15 calories for every 100 grams.
Wow, that's like almost 60 times less in terms of carbs.
Yeah, it's almost a negligible amount of carbs. So these are perfect for anyone who is on a low carb diet for medical reasons, or if you're doing keto, which is very popular these days. These are a good option. They're also very full of a type of soluble fiber called glucomannan. And soluble fiber was really good for your digestive system, but inside your digestive system, it also attaches to cholesterol particles, so it can help your body to shed that dietary cholesterol, and that can help to reduce and prevent heart disease.
So I guess the question is, how do I know which to pick?
For me, as a chef, taste is number one. So I think if these healthier options, if they don't taste as good, they don't feel as good texture-wise, then it's not going to scratch the itch of the occasional instant noodle craving.
That's true. If it doesn't taste good, then no matter how healthy it is, you probably won't eat it.
Exactly.
Most of these non-fried noodles that are not entirely made of wheat can be healthier for me. But taste is still king, isn't it? To find out, I'm setting up a taste test. I'm cooking up 5 non-fried instant noodles made up of other ingredients besides wheat, and 2 versions of regular instant noodles as control. I'm serving them up to the most discerning taste buds. Chef Jason Lim learned all about making ramen noodles from Japan and is dubbed Singapore's Ramen King. Chan Chan, an executive chef born in Hong Kong, grew up eating instant noodles. Chef Petrina Loh has worked in Michelin-starred restaurants, and she's constantly on the lookout for the next healthy diet trend.
Okay, here we go. This is
wow,
the first
thank
one.
Thank you.
All right, dig in.
To me, noodle texture is good. Just a touch of spiciness, but not like too much.
Yeah, the broth is nice, it's tangy, you know, and the noodle texture is actually pretty springy.
Here is number 3.
Oh wow,
This looks a little bit different.
it looks different indeed.
It sticks to the tooth.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like wheat noodles.
Sesame, I mean, I like the
can
taste.
smell that.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I think I bought it before.
Interesting color.
Yeah.
The noodle tastes like it's healthier. The
Oh.
soup doesn't really. The soup kind of tastes like classic, you know, instant noodle flavor.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Yep,
Yeah?
my go-to.
This is your
Midnight
typical
Yeah.
go-to.
Yeah,
This is what instant noodles is all about for you.
yeah, a lot of flavors. Yeah, just packed with flavors.
Yeah? Katrina
Tasty,
loves it.
tasty, yes, I love it.
There you go.
Seems to be spicy.
Yeah.
Texture is a bit weird. The noodle.
It's too clumpy. Kind of all
It's not. It's actually a bit crunchy.
crunchy.
Yeah. Tastes like kind of jelly.
Ramen.
The broth smells very flavorful and it does taste very flavorful, but I think the noodles is not my kind of thing.
How is the healthier variety of instant noodles compared to, you know, the regular ones?
If I'm eating instant noodles, I go in with that expectation of how it's supposed to look, taste, and feel, right? Yeah, and the healthier versions, they don't have that bite to it.
Interestingly, all the healthier element goes into the noodles. Maybe they did something with the soup, but mainly is the noodle.
I think like number 4, for example, the broth is actually pretty regular tasting. This tastes umami, it's nice and, you know, tangy, and there's a lot of
Right.
flavor in it. But it's just like the noodles will make you think, you know, it's a healthy version.
Actually, I always feel that the soup or the sauces are the more sinful part.
Okay.
The noodles are just noodles.
Aha! The all-important seasoning. Now this is the stuff that gets us hooked. So there's one more thing to investigate. What is exactly in the seasoning of instant noodles? And how do the healthier versions compare with regular ones?
So I imagine that sample B and C, which are air-dried, should also have healthier seasoning, right?
I'm afraid that's not true.
I'm investigating if instant noodles marketed as healthier are indeed better for us. They may be air-dried and lower in fat, but what about the all-important seasoning? Are the ones paired with non-fried noodles healthier too? I'm meeting Guo Ren, a food technologist from Temasek Poly. He's had first-hand experience working in an instant noodle manufacturing facility. I'm getting his help to investigate what exactly is in our seasoning packets.
I brought in 3 packets of instant noodles. Sample A is your regular fried instant noodle, but sample B and C are air-dried and also made with other healthier ingredients. But I'm more curious about the seasoning. What is the difference between the seasoning?
All instant noodle seasoning have some common structure. We food scientists call them savory building block. Let me explain to you.
Yep.
So at the base level, you imagine as a pyramid, the savory building block. At the base level is salt and sugar.
Okay.
That's giving the basic taste to the seasoning. One layer higher is what we call flavor enhancer, things like MSG. On top is the spice and herbs, garnishes and things like that. It brings out the flavor and add to the appearance. On top of those 3, sometimes we also add something called other additives to make the powder more stable and longer shelf life. In the ingredient list, the first one use MSG as the flavor enhancer. MSG you can consider it as 100% pure glutamate.
Okay.
Glutamate is an amino acid, is a compound that's naturally present in tomato and cheese. It gives this umami taste, the savory taste. But MSG is a pure form, 100%. Second one and the third one, they don't have MSG. Both just use yeast extract plus something called the hydrolyzed vegetable protein. So the difference is that the amount of glutamate present is different.
So all 3 of them have glutamate, but this has the most.
Exactly. MSG has a bad name. So food scientists as us, we try to replace it.
Does that make it more healthy?
I would say it's more suitable for people who have MSG syndrome.
But-
While for normal people, I don't think it makes a difference.
So I imagine that sample B and C, which are air-dried, should also have healthier seasoning, right?
I'm afraid that's not true. Air-dried noodle indeed is healthier than fried noodle in terms of noodle itself because it has much lower amount of fat. But that doesn't mean their seasoning is healthier. Why? It's because, let's look at the sodium content. The first one is fried noodle. It has 873 milligrams of sodium. Second one is 742. You can see sample C has the highest sodium level, 1,300. And even higher than the fried one, which is 800 plus. On average, it's recommended that the daily intake of sodium for one person is 2,300. So this is pretty high. If you eat 100 grams of noodle, that's more than 50%. Right. So what does it mean? It could mean that the manufacturer is trying to compensate for the lack of oil and frying in the noodle because air dry is nowhere near fried noodle in terms of the flavorfulness. So some would put more sodium.
If seasoning is the culprit, I wonder if I can make my own flavoring. I'm passing this challenge on to Chef Shen Tan. Concerned about the dietary habits of Singaporeans, she started Dr. Chef Eats, a video series that shares healthy yet delicious recipes with viewers.
So Shen, I'm looking for a seasoning that is healthy and fuss-free.
Yeah.
Can we make something like that?
Yeah, we definitely could do that. You know, in fact, we have items here that you can find in your pantry.
Okay. What do we have here?
Okay, so we have sea salt, which is really healthy. It's made from literally seawater.
Okay.
Right. You also have garlic and onion powders, dehydrated, and these are chock full of flavor and have naturally occurring umami notes, which is glutamic acid. Curry powder, which is full of antioxidants. Chili, turmeric powder, coriander powder. Tasty and good for you as well.
And of course, it has a nice aroma as well.
Correct, you know. And then we have 5 spice powder, which are also again full of spices that are good for you, anti-inflammatory and antioxidants.
And then I can smell this, it's sesame oil, right?
And sesame oil is fantastic. It little bit goes a long way.
But how is this actually healthier than the regular seasoning we get in the noodles?
You're actually pairing all these things together to amplify and to build flavor without using necessarily so much salt. And what happens is that when you do this yourself, you can then customize it and tailor it according to your needs and your health requirements. You know?
The prawns and the mushrooms,
Yes.
why are they here?
They are natural sources of glutamic acid, which is a naturally occurring form of MSG. What we want to do is actually blend it up so that it's a powder form, and we can add it to our seasonings.
Okay, so now how do we make our dry seasoning?
Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll use the curry powder.
Okay.
Okay, so just a touch of salt, like almost very little.
Oh, that's really little.
Yeah, it's very little, right? Because all these spices and herbs will actually give you flavor. Would you prefer prawns or mushrooms?
I'll go with the prawns.
Okay, cool. So then again, a small amount, you know. So this technically would be maybe 5 times the amount of prawns, fresh prawns.
Ah, okay.
Then I just would put a touch of sesame oil.
I guess the moment of truth, the taste test.
Yes, that's right.
Smells good? Mm-hmm. It tastes actually like your regular instant noodles.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the whole beauty of it. It's quick, easy,
Yeah.
and it's customizable.
And that way it's healthier because in the pre-made packet of seasoning, I don't have a choice.
No.
Whereas here, I have a choice.
Yep.
So, are healthier instant noodles really that much healthier? Well, what I've learned is that air-dried noodles are way lower in fat, but it's not just about the noodles. It's also about what's inside these little packets. So the next time I'm having an instant noodle craving, I think I'm either gonna halve the seasoning from this packet or perhaps make my very own seasoning, which I've discovered is really quite doable even for someone like me.